David Corenswet's flight scene gets compared to Henry Cavill's scenes in Man of Steel, and Snyder fans are harsh on Superman scenes. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. David Corenswet's Superman has released a new 30-second TV spot that features a few new shots alongside scenes from the previous trailer. One of the new scenes that caught the attention of the fans was that of Superman flying. While James Gunn's fans defended the flight, Zack Snyder's fans couldn't help but call out the weird-looking shot. Some fans claimed that Snyder did a better job with the flight scenes than the new DCU film. While the tone of the new film brings back Superman's traits of hope and optimism, it will still be hard to beat the comparison with Henry Cavill's Man of Steel. The new TV spot footage showed Superman flying in the Arctic, which brought back memories of Man of Steel. Fans believed that the two scenes had significant differences. While the 4-second shot, both from the front and back, of Superman flying isn't possibly enough to judge James Gunn's Superman, fans noticed something weird about it. As David Corenswet flew above the snow in the footage, fans believed that the CGI still needed perfection. There was something about the character's eyes or face that looked off and needed a little more polishing. It could get worse when Corenswet goes for mid-flight fight sequences. However, Zack Snyder fans are harsh on the film and shared that the shot looked mid at best. A call for bringing back Snyder was made, with the fans claiming that he did a perfect job with the scene with Henry Cavill. While fans of Gunn admitted that Corenswet's face looked odd, they shared that it was nothing to cry about. Some of the fan reactions read: the TV spot also features new footage of Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor arriving at the Arctic. Fans believe that it has something to do with the bloodied Superman we see at the beginning of both the trailer and this TV spot. While fan arguments continue, it is hard to overlook the excitement generated by the new Superman film. James Gunn revealed the inspiration for the flight scenes in Superman with comic book during a set visit last year. He shared that he had a big document that contained his philosophy for action sequences, like what to shoot and how to shoot it. He shared that filming stuff in the sky like that is really hard. Gunn took inspiration from one of the most successful films in Tom Cruise's career, Top Gun: Maverick. He shared with comic book. So we took a lot from films like Top Gun: Maverick, which we are shooting flying things. We shoot a lot of our action with actual drones flying in and around Superman and the people that he's flying with. In Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Henry Cavill's Superman tests out his powers and attempts to fly into the sky. After a couple of failed attempts that were more of a jump than a flight, Cavill's character succeeds. Fans believed that this jump could have been a homage to the Golden Age Superman. When first introduced, Superman could only jump over buildings and lift cars. Fans appreciated Snyder's use of classic references in his films. They shared that the Rebel Moon director understood the source material and the character. Man of Steel is now available for streaming on Max. Superman will hit theaters on July 11, 2025. Anxious about unveiling Pacific Rim at Comic-Con 2013 against Zack Snyder, Guillermo del Toro felt at ease after fans appreciated his masterpiece. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. There are rarely a few directors in Hollywood who can compete with Guillermo del Toro's iconic works like Cronos, Hellboy, and Pan's Labyrinth. Yet, there was a time when even the acclaimed filmmaker faced a bit of anxiety when it came for him to unveil the first look of Pacific Rim at the 2013 Comic-Con against Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Although the movie later became one of the most appreciated pieces of art to pay tribute to Japan's anime and kaiju culture, Guillermo del Toro wasn't quite confident about his film during the Comic-Con, considering how he almost disappeared from the industry for around 5 years. Before returning with Pacific Rim, del Toro believed people would not appreciate his movie against Snyder's DC flick. That's when, after directing his 2008 movie Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, Guillermo del Toro almost disappeared from Hollywood for around 5 years. Thereafter, he returned with his iconic kaiju masterpiece Pacific Rim in 2013. But then, what initially began as a much-needed break for del Toro ended up becoming the cause for his anxiety. After his 5-year hiatus, when Guillermo del Toro returned with Pacific Rim, he told Variety's senior features editor, David S. Cohen, about his nerve-wracking anxiety during the 2013 Comic-Con, where he was supposed to unveil the first look of his film. Pitted against Zack Snyder's DC flick, Man of Steel, del Toro worried that people might root for Snyder's film and overlook his. Although the movie later became one of the most appreciated pieces of art to pay tribute to Japan's anime and kaiju culture, Guillermo del Toro wasn't quite confident about his film during the Comic-Con, considering how he almost disappeared from the industry for around 5 years, before returning with Pacific Rim. Del Toro believed people would not appreciate his movie against Snyder's DC flick. "T hit me like a ton of bricks. I grabbed my wife and I said, I'm absolutely petrified. You have a beautiful movie, don't worry," she said. "Rarely has a movie been more important for me personally. Not since Kronos, or maybe Pan's Labyrinth, has a movie been that important. Everybody around me was very happy, confident. I was ting my pants." Just a few moments before Pacific Rim's trailer was revealed to a crowd at Comic-Con 2013, Guillermo del Toro recalled feeling a panic attack building up. Especially since his film's release date was too close to Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, it's needless to say that the director felt the pressure rising. Recalling how people around him were more confident in his film than he was, Guillermo del Toro claimed to be absolutely ting before unveiling his trailer. But then, as the moment arrived when fans got the first glimpse of Pacific Rim, and they began taking in del Toro's masterpiece, the filmmaker could finally feel his anxiety leaving his body. Upon the trailer's completion, as the room roared into applause of approval, Guillermo del Toro finally received a life-affirming experience. Despite initially overthinking how his hiatus might affect his film's reception and worrying about competing against Zack Snyder's DC movie, del Toro eventually felt at ease, after people celebrated his film's trailer. That was huge. It was completely a life-affirming experience. I was very moved by the chitter-chatter, the hush, the whispers. I felt the room was really excited. That's what affected me in a beautiful way. Thereafter, the filmmaker went on to say how overwhelmed he was by people's response to Pacific Rim. So much so that del Toro admitted to forgetting his agenda at the Comic-Con and even forgot to show the trailer for the second time. Christopher Nolan was right after all. Zack Snyder may just be the blueprint for all sci-fi and superhero movies, and Sonic 3 proves why. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is soaring at the box office and winning over fans everywhere. But beyond the surface, there are some hidden details that only the most eagle-eyed viewers have caught. Among them are subtle references, or maybe even homages, to epics like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. Christopher Nolan some time back praised Zack Snyder for his unique approach to science fiction superhero films, and it seems Sonic 3 might just show why Nolan was right all along. Zack Snyder may have his loyal fans, but he also faces plenty of backlash for his work, especially with the DCU and Rebel Moon. Despite the criticism, Christopher Nolan sees Snyder as the blueprint for modern superhero films. According to Nolan, Snyder has set the standard that others are now following, creating a cinematic style that's shaped the genre. In the Atlantic profile on Snyder, Nolan explained that Snyder has had a major influence on many of today's comic book and sci-fi films. He said, "There's no superhero science fiction film coming out these days where I don't see some influence of Zack. When you watch a Zack Snyder film, you see and feel his love for the potential of cinema. The potential of it to be fantastical, to be heightened in its reality, but to move you and to excite you. Say what you will about Zack Snyder, he's no stranger to